Oh, my skin feels like really tight. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. I know I am a couple weeks behind in greeting y'all, so hello. I thought to get myself back into the whole filming mode and everything, I just wanted to do kind of like a more casual, chit-chatty, catching up kind of video. I'm getting ready for the day. I'm just hanging out with y'all and talk about, you know, I don't know, talk about whatever y'all want to know. On Instagram, I had asked you guys for like, I've been asking for topics and stuff like that. So today's Saturday and I'm just getting ready. I'm having kind of like a late lunch, early dinner with one of my girlfriends. It's super windy here. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but it's so freaking windy. So I'm in the mood for some like bun rio or soup, noodly soup. So that's what we're gonna go do today. Figured I'd show you guys what my general makeup stuff is. I know a few of you guys have asked for that. Next, I use my serum that has like vitamin C and stuff. I tend to have hyperpigmentation. It's gotten better now that I've started wearing like sunscreen over the past couple years. For some reason I just did not like to wear sunscreen. Felt like I had like a white cast a lot and I didn't like that, but the sunscreen that I have now doesn't do that and I love it. It's a cooling and brightening eye balm. Cooler weather, I don't love this. I feel like I should probably have something a little bit more moisturizing because my skin does get a little bit more dry. I tend to have more like oily normal skin, but I do notice I get dry spots, especially during cooler weather, and I just have not had the chance or have not prioritized trying to find new skincare. I think that is what I am learning these days. I'm just learning to prioritize and whatever. Anyways, I do like this stuff though. Moisturizer, I love this stuff so much. It smells so good, it's very lightweight. I would just talk to you guys about how I'm doing. I guess some things that I'm working towards this year. I feel like life in general, right? Like there's always something that happens in life and you're always healing from something. So I feel like I'm in a fairly good place with, you know, healing from my divorce and whatnot. This is the sunscreen that I use now and I like it because it doesn't give me a white cast and it kind of gives like a nice glow to the skin as well. So even though it is cloudy today, skincare experts say wear your sunscreen still, so I will listen to them. Anyways, so you guys know I'm like on a little healing journey from my divorce and everything. And the holidays were really tough. I was not expecting it to be that tough. I think it was just because it was so different from other holidays. Do certain things for like a decade, it kind of, you know, it's a little bit different, but in some ways it was sad and in some ways it was a little bit more freeing, dealing with some stuff, you know, emotions and stuff, and I think that's perfectly normal. And one thing I wanted to talk about, I had some questions about like how to move on, how to heal from like a breakup or a heartbreak. And I think one of the things that I've learned is in order to heal from something, you have to face it and you have to face the emotions that come up rather than trying to run away from it. I think the more you run away from that, you're not really healing because you're, you know, not facing something. I've seen a quote somewhere about it's not time that heals, because you could, you know, years could go by and if you don't face things, you're not healing, right? Or if you're just avoiding it or using other things to distract you from what you're trying to heal from, you're not really healing, you know, like you're running away from things. So it's like, it's not time that heals, it's actually facing things and learning from things that heals. I wanted to share those moments when I was having like a hard time and whatnot, not for sympathy or whatever, it's just more so to share with whoever else is going through or who has gone through heartbreak or some, you know, something tough, that it's okay when you have those moments of like just being super sad and having feelings about something. Like it's okay to have those feelings. It's okay to, like, if you need to take time and disconnect from other people and like be alone, that's perfectly fine. I think one thing that's been helping me throughout everything is the fact that I am very much like trying to just learn to have a good relationship with myself. I realized over, you know, just my natural personality, I am a giver. I tend to think about others before I think about myself, partially because of the way I was raised and whatnot, where I didn't put a lot of attention on my needs or wants, and I always, you know, was thinking of everyone else. And one of the nice things about this season of life, although, you know, did I want to be in this position? No, not necessarily, but one of the nice things about this season of life is that I'm getting a second chance to, you know, learn about myself and really like love myself in a way that I never did. You know, like when I was in a relationship since I was 20, I'm now 33. A good chunk of my life, like thinking about we instead of me. And I don't think that's, you know, I don't regret any of it, because I think everything that I go through, everything that y'all go through, it all makes us who we are, right? And so I don't regret anything. But I wish if I was talking to my younger self, I would have loved to tell her like, hey, you know, your needs and wants are just as important as someone else's. You're not, you know, like, you're not responsible for other people. Like, I used to feel like I was responsible for keeping people on track, and I don't think, you know, that's not the case. Everyone is responsible for themselves, and, you know, when you're in a partnership, and what I'm looking for in the future, you know, is I want someone who shows up fully as themselves, and just like I will, and hopefully, you know, we can join together and go towards a common goal. But I'm not anymore trying to, you know, set a good example for someone else. Like, no, like, you should come as yourself with your own set of moral standards and values and everything, and like, either that's gonna align with me or it's not. And that's something that I've definitely learned over the past year. I used to think that it was my responsibility to do that, partially because of how I was raised and all this other stuff. And, you know, I'm not responsible for that. And there's something very freeing about that too. So I asked you guys during Vlogmas about a mascara base. What I've noticed is I have to put it on like very, very lightly, and then let it dry. And then it seems to work pretty well. I love the Shiseido mascara base because it will like literally hold the curl exactly how I curled it, and I don't have to wait for it to dry. Like, I would put the mascara base on and then right afterwards do the mascara, but you know what, I'm having to adjust because they don't make it anymore. So that's another thing that I'm learning, which is kind of nice. It's kind of like just learning to go with the flow about things, you know, like just, yeah, like I feel for so long my life kind of like I kind of knew where it was going. You know, I had very clear goals, a path for myself, and now not so much, y'all. Like, I'm gonna be real honest with you, I feel like I am winging it every day. For a long time, whenever I would make decisions, it would be with someone, right? Like, I would never just think of myself. I would always like think about how would this affect not only me, how would it affect, you know, my partner and our life and stuff like that. And so it's like kind of freeing to be able to not be thinking of anyone else and only think of yourself. I don't think that, obviously, like when you're in a relationship, that's not appropriate in my opinion. That was part of the problem. But I think especially when you're single, you know, like it's kind of nice to just not have to necessarily think about the needs or wants of someone else, other than of course myself and Juicy and like my family. You know what I'm talking, yeah, I hope you'll know what I'm trying to say. But like for so long I was so focused on him and my relationship that, you know, I did lose a piece of myself. And also it's like I didn't even know myself whenever I got with him. So yeah, anyways, I'm saying all that because I'm like in a position now where I'm pretty happy with the fact that life is the way it is. It's exciting. It is a little scary at times, thinking about, you know, kind of life, you know, on your own. Because, you know, at the end of the day, I think wanting that companionship and to share your life with someone, like I feel like that's totally normal and there's nothing wrong with that. My thing is, like, I'm going to be very discerning about who I choose to do that with in the future. I'm not in a position right now to, like, you know, I'm like not actively looking for anything right now. I'm enjoying like my singleness, focusing on work, family, getting to know myself some more, juicy. I'm just kind of enjoying this season of life because I know how I am. When I find someone who I feel like is my person, you know, like I go all in, and hopefully I will learn to be better at going all in but still maintaining, you know, me, like maintaining that. But yeah, I'm not gonna go all where I lose myself again, you know, because I definitely did that over the years. And you learn from it, you know? You learn from that shit. I didn't put any concealer on because on the weekends, I don't tend to put on a lot of makeup at all anyways. But since I'm gonna have dinner with my friend, I wanna look a little presentable. Long story short, I don't know, I'm just babbling at this point. As far as like New Year's resolutions, I don't really have anything in like super concrete. I did set an intention for this new year, which is for me to be much more intentional in life, like continuing to learn about myself, continuing to like be the kind of partner for myself that I want in someone else, meaning like something that I know, like if you've been, you know, a part of the Stephie fam for a long time, you know, like one of the things that I've struggled with over like my entire life is like my negative self-talk. Like that's something that, yeah, I have struggled with, and I think I've told you guys that before. Like I am my worst critic. Like whenever I do something, if I'm not the best or if I don't perform at the way that I expect myself to, or something doesn't go the way that I was expecting, like, you know, I'm really down on myself about those things. I think over the past like 6 to 8 months, I've been a lot better. Like I'm learning to give myself more grace, and like also learning that like making mistakes in life is just like, it's part of life, right? Like obviously I know that you guys, especially when it comes to my career, like we talk about this all the time, but like on a personal level, like I guess I have a different standard for myself there. I'm just harder on myself for whatever reason. And so I am learning to have nicer self-talk, and like when I notice myself doing that, you know, kind of like trying to just make it a little bit more positive, like, you know, not beating myself up about things, understanding that mistakes are gonna happen, you know, and life is full of risks. So that's another thing that I was thinking about recently is, I've talked about how I'm a risk-averse person, which I am. In this season of life especially, it's crazy that, you know, a single decision can change the course of your life. Like you can literally change your mind about something, make another decision, and your life can change like literally in the next 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I feel like life is just so interesting because it's full of choices. It's full of like decisions, and like at the end of the day, you can go into making a decision about something with as much information as you can, but you just have to like trust, and I have to trust myself that no matter whatever ends up happening, like I can get through it. And that's something I'm learning about too, because before I feel like something that I've been told in my career, at least when I was at the mid-tier firm, like one of the things people were telling me is that like I'm not super decisive, which I agree with that. Like it does take me a minute. Like I'm not a snap decision type of person, but I'm learning to be better at that. I'm learning to like be better at just making decisions and going down a path and, you know, seeing what happens. I notice that a lot about work, especially right now. Not snap decisions, but more like, you know, having to make decisions and just, you know, owning the outcome to something, good or bad. Learning to switch things up, learning to like, if something's not going right, then okay, you know, changing direction, and being more fluid like that, like versus me just being afraid to even make a decision because I didn't want something to go wrong. Like I'm learning what that is. I don't know, this is all kind of all over the place. Anyways, I don't really have like a ton of like resolutions. It's more just me being more intentional with life and myself in general, and then just, you know, continuing to work on my relationship with myself. And that way, because that kind of like sets the tone of what I'm willing to accept from other people, whether it is romantic or friends or acquaintances or colleagues or family. As hard as the holidays were, I'm like very happy in general with life. Like I feel I feel peace in a way that I haven't felt consistently in like a very long time, or like ever, really, honestly. And that is really nice. Like I really enjoy that. And I've come to enjoy it so much that now I know like I'm not allowing out like people who are going to affect my peace. I don't allow that anymore. Like those are my boundaries, you know. Like I used to have very low boundaries, and now it's like, you know, treat everyone with kindness, but not everyone deserves access to you, you know. Like I'm not saying be rude to people or ghost people and shit. Like that's not what I'm saying. Or like if you don't like someone at work, like just ignore them. Like that's not what I'm saying at all. You know, like time to me is so important. Like we only get a certain amount of it, right? And like once you use it all up, it's gone, you know. Like, so I feel like the time that you can control, meaning like your own personal time away from work and whatnot, like where you are in control of what you do with that time, is so important to like watch who you spend that with. I'm very particular about that now. Like the people that I choose to spend time with, like that is very important to me, and I'm very discerning about that. That was one thing that, you know, my future partner and I have to align on, is like how discerning are they of the people they keep around them. That was one of the biggest issues I had with the ex, something we did not agree on, where I'm much more cautious about that, because there are people out there who are not good people, you know, like, or whose values don't align with my values. And again, like in the future, I think that's another big thing, is having a partner where your values align, so that anything that is, you know, outside of that, it's easy. It's an easy answer, being like, I don't want that in our life. And that's something that I'm very, that's super important to me in the future. Of course, I don't, you know, right now it doesn't matter, it's a moot point, but that's just something that I think is super important to consider. And it's, like I said, any connection, not just like a romantic one or whatever. So let me get off that topic. Just, you know, I'm chatting with you guys. Like I'm chatting as if you guys are here with me right now. One big goal that I have this year is to save for a house. So that is something I'm working towards. The reason for that is, like, right now I'm renting, obviously, but for the past, what, 7-8 years, I have always owned a home. And I, like, with the way house prices are going, I don't know if it's gonna get any, you know, if they're gonna go down anytime soon. I feel like, you know, they're probably just gonna keep going up and up and up. And I just like having a house, owning my place versus renting. So that's a big goal for me this year, is saving up for a house. I'm really excited about it. I'm still like working out, you know, savings goals and stuff like that, but that's something that's very top of mind for me. So I'm excited to like share that journey with you guys as it goes along. I'm like really excited about like the different projects that I want to do whenever I get my house. Yeah, those are some of my goals. One of y'all had asked me about career goals, and you know what, again, like I cannot control, here's the thing, I've learned that I cannot control everything. You know, that was something as well that I realized about myself, was I had this like idea that I could control things outside of myself because of certain things that I was raised with. And I've come to realize that I can control myself and my reactions. You know, I can control the decisions that I personally make, but like I'm not responsible for everyone else around me. Like I can do my best to share my opinion or communicate my needs and wants, but at the end of the day, like every person is their own person, and you know, we are not in charge of how other people act or whatever. And if they act in a way that, you know, is not great or whatnot, like that's not a reflection on me. Like that is that person's, you know, choice to act a certain way or do certain things, and you take people as they are. And that's something that I've learned too, is like taking people as they are versus me trying to like inadvertently mold them into what I think they should be like either you accept someone as they are and you can, you know, and that's okay, or, you know, you see how someone is and they just don't align with you and then you go your separate ways. Now that I'm like really living fully within like my authentic self, like I'm really happy. I'm really at peace with things. Would it be nice to have companionship? Sure, but you know, I don't need it. Anyways, tangent again. As far as career goals go, this year I do want to get a certification of some kind, whether it's like CSOE, Certified Sarbanes-Oxley Expert, or my CISA. That's definitely on my list for this year as career goal. But as far as outside of that, like I just want to continue to refine my knowledge of my craft, which is internal controls, SOX, internal audit, like, you know, process improvements. Those are the things that like I get excited about with work, and I just want to continue to just build on my current knowledge and stay up to date on like, you know, current events and everything. Would I like to move up in my career? Absolutely. But again, it's one of those things where I'm gonna do the very best that I can and work to prove myself constantly, but that's all I can do. You know, like I can just give every single day my very best and that's it. Like my very best that I can give for that day, and hopefully that's good enough, and if not, then, you know, whatever. You know, tomorrow's another day and I'll give it another try. So as far as my career goals go, that's kind of where I'm at. Right now we're in the middle of our year-end audit, so things are a little bit hectic. This is like really the time where, you know, all the work that we've put in over the past 7 months, this is go time. So, you know, it is what it is. But again, I'm trying to be gentle with myself, kind to myself, and have patience. Also, practice self-love with myself even during this busy time. That's really important for me, which also like doing YouTube and being connected to you guys, like that's really important to me too. I know, like, you know, obviously the past year was kind of crazy for me, but like one of the things that really does bring me joy is like being part of y'all's journey as well as you being part of mine. And so like it's really important for me to be more connected to you guys, you know, coming back, and you know, editing is very cathartic for me. And then also coming back out with some more accounting content. I have ideas and everything, so just me executing on all of that, like that's what I'm kind of focusing on. Like things that bring me joy, I'm trying to continue to add those things in my life and make time for those things, and not just like burying my head in work, because I tend to do that. So yeah, anyways, okay, I'm ready. I might need to put some dry shampoo in this because my hair is looking a little oily, but that's okay. Anywho, thanks for hanging out with me and catching up. I don't know, hope this was, I don't know, somewhat entertaining at least. Let me know what y'all want to see in the comments. I'll be back. I hope you guys are having a great new year so far. Thank you so much for being part of my journey and being part of the Stephie fam. Yeah, I'll see y'all soon. Cozy cutie. Oh, don't forget, enjoy your journey.